Hello. So I thought I would do an updated video about this sound card, and it's the Creative Labs Audigy 2ZS Platinum Pro, quite a long name, and this card is quite old, but it still works, and it also works in Windows 10. And I put a link to it in the video description, the drivers for it. And the drivers work both in Windows 7 and Windows 10. I have never run Windows 8, so I don't know if it works there. It should work. And the only kind of issue I have with this card in Windows 10 is that when I play some Minecraft, the Java version, after a while I'm starting to get some crackling and distorted sound. But so you need to kind of restart the computer after playing Minecraft and it works fine again. But that's kind of the only issue with it. Otherwise it works just fine. And yeah, this is quite an old card. As you can see, it's actually a regular PCI slot. It's not PCI Express. So if your computer only have PCI Express slots, just forget running this card because it doesn't fit in the port. So if you have PCI ports, it works just fine. And yeah, so there you see the Audigy kind of main circuit. It doesn't have any shielding or anything like the new cards have. Just a regular, the ZS regular. And in the back here, so this is the back plane, and you put on this, actually this is a sticker with the colors on it. So I think the green is line out and the black is line in, I think, and this is the microphone, I think it is. So that's just 3 ports. Then it have this special connector. It's a proprietary connector and a firewire connector. And I'll show you this later on, because this card actually comes with an external box, and that's why I have this card, because I don't use the ports at the back, I just use the external box. So this is the card itself that you put in your computer, and it also have this special connector here, this white one. That's actually a power connector, so you this card also need extra power, and I guess that's for the external box. And it works with a regular, for those of you who know, a 3.5-inch floppy drive, those power cables, those power connectors looks like this. Normally this card comes with that power adapter, but for some reason this connector is a little bit bad on that one, so yeah, I got a different one. So it's an adapter basically going to a regular Molex connector. So that's that. And what you do, and it's important how you actually connect this, because you see on one side, I don't know, it's a little bit some plastic thingies that is kind of extending from the sides, and you can also see at the top there's a kind of plastic notch there. So when you connect this, and people might actually forget to connect this, but you need the extra power, otherwise the external box doesn't work. So, and this you also see there are some metallic things, you can see the things, those should be upwards, and you just connect it like this. And this is tight fit like that. So yeah, that's the kind of power connector. And yeah, so that's the kind of sound card itself. And the power connector, of course. And you need to have this special cable. And this is a pretty long cable. It's 2 meters long. I don't know how long that is in inches or feet or whatever, but let's say a normal person might be like 1 meter and 75 centimeters long, or 180. And I think 6 foot or 6 feet is like 2 meters or something, so somewhere around there. But the cable is really long, it's about 2 meters long. And yeah, it has these connectors at both ends. It's the firewire connectors and the special proprietary connector. So yeah, you need this one so you can actually place the box like on your desk or whatever, which is really good. And yeah, so I will switch to a second video here because I can only record like 10 minutes with the cell phone that I have. So I get right back to you with the external box. Okay, so yeah, that's the cable. And that cable, of course, goes to this one. And you can only install it in a specific way, because it has sort of rounded corners or angled corners. So that will go over there, and then the firewire will go over there, and the firewire port will also give power to the external box. So yeah, that's the cable. And now to the external box. Here it is. You can see my big fatty hands. See the size of it. I don't have the dimensions overall, but it's kind of big. And yeah, it's like 3 fingers tall. So yeah, kind of big. And it has these rubber thingies here, so you can basically place it, same thing here on the sides. If I do it like this, perhaps. Has these rubber things here, so you can actually place it like this as well on its side. And yeah, so let's see if I can actually get some good footage here. So here you can see the front of it all. This is actually a firewire connector, so that you know it's kind of old. So if you have like a firewire camera or whatever, or hard drive, you can use this as a firewire connector. Then you have 2 optical connectors here, and the left one here it says optical out, and this one, right one, is optical in. And there's that mosquito disturbing me. And these are just plastic protectors that you pull out for this. Same thing with this left one. And I have them there for just so that no dust comes in here. And then you have these 3 other connectors, and these are 1/4 inch connectors. And the first one is line in 2, and the second one is a line in 1, and it's also a microphone in. So how does that work? Well, if you actually, this knob here is sort of a volume control for the microphone, and you heard when I turn it all the way to the left, you hear a click, which means that it will automatically switch to line 1, and when you turn it like this, it will be microphone. And then you have the volume, and this is sort of it's kind of a friction free, but this it's kind of stepping a little bit. You can hear it click a little bit perhaps. So this is the master volume, and there's no stop or anything, it just is the way it is. And then you have CMSS, and that's sort of a sound control, environment control, stuff like that. And then it has a remote, and let's see if I have it somewhere. I think I actually lost it. Okay, I will look for it. Okay, I can't really find the remote, but I know it's somewhere. I find it kind of useless to have a remote for like desktop. But anyway, this is the front overall, and these are LEDs, and you have a power LED and the CMSS LED when that's activated, and then it's this remote LED, and this actually light up red, and these two are green. And then we have at the front, you can see all this other stuff. You see the logo there, creative logo, and then you have like THX, DTS, Dolby Digital EX, DVD audio, audio drivers, or support at least, EAX, Advanced HD, and 24-bit. And you can go up to 192 kilohertz, and I think you can run 24 bits, of course. So yeah, and a lot of new kind of sound cards go way up higher than this. I think it's over 300 or something, and also 32 bits. So, but anyway, the sides doesn't have anything. There is a little bit of ventilation here as well. That's just some information over here. The regular markings, you know, the FC, the CE markings and stuff. Here you can see model number SB0290. So that's the model number. And you got the serial number there as well. And on the side is just basically the same as the top, except for the text here. And the back side here, you have some extra ports, and here is the proprietary connector next to the sound card. And one thing that I should mention, that no, you can't run this separately from the sound card. I recently got the question, and the one person asked if you can just connect this box to like your laptop. No, you got to have the sound card as well. So you can't use this as a separate device, as far as I know, because you have this proprietary connector, because all the audio goes through this connector to the sound card. And here you have the so-called, it's called actually AD link. This is the AD link 2. So the cable you have, the firewire cable, goes to this one. And then you have an extra firewire connector here. So you can't connect the cable to the firewire, it should be connected to this one. And I think this box gets its power through the firewire connector here. And if you actually forget the power cable, this box doesn't work. And the power LED here won't lit up, so you actually need to have this. So yeah, that's the firewire, the AD link, two AD link ports, And over here you have, this is small one. It's like a 3.5mm connector, you know, like your headphones. And this is a digital out as well, just a 3.5-inch thingy. And these two are coaxial digital. This is digital. The bottom one is digital out and the top one is digital in. So you have coaxial digital in the back and you have optical connectors in the front, both in and out. So that's just perfect. So if you want to record a digital audio directly, you can use this input. And then you have a MIDI output and input. So you can connect like a MIDI keyboard to it. And I guess it's a pass-through. Or my keyboard goes here and this goes to the computer or whatever. And then you have regular analog line in 2 or line in 3 actually. So red is right and white is left. So just analog inputs. So this is just the back side. And I really like this external box because you have, I think I forgot to mention this, so line in here, then line in 2, line in 1 a microphone, and then your headphones. And I really like the headphone amp in this because the one in the computer is not really powerful enough for my headphones. So if you have a really good pair of headphones, I suggest you use this one instead of the computer or motherboard's audio. So and it's, my headphones actually comes with this adapter. So it's a 1/4 inch to 3.5mm adapter. So yeah, like that. And every single connector here, you see they are gold plated, everything, even the firewire. So, and also the back, all the connectors are gold plated, even the digital. Also the MIDI, kind of weird. So yeah, so that's that. And yes, this combo, and as I said before, you need the sound card to be able to use this box. You can't use the box separately, but you actually use the card separately, so that you don't need the box. But I suggest that you actually use the box because you have a lot more inputs and outputs over here. So yeah, this is the sound card that I have, and it works in Windows 7 and Windows 10, which means that it should work in Windows 8 as well. And I put a link to the drivers for it in the video description. So yeah, and so the question is, yeah, 2 questions that I answered. Will it work in Windows 10? Yes. And can you use the box separately? No. You need both. And also it's a PCI connector. It's the old connector. So if you have PCI Express, you can't use this. And if you get a hold of this, because Creative doesn't sell this anymore, because this is a really old card. So you have to buy it like second hand. And make sure you have this power cable. It's like a floppy power connector in one end and then the Molex in other end. And if you're going to use the external box, don't forget to connect the power as well. And also make sure that you get this proprietary cable. So yeah, and if you're going to connect it, make sure that you actually connect to the right one. It says AD Link 1 here and AD Link 2. So yeah, these are the ones that you use for the cable that goes to the sound card. So yeah, a video about that. So kind of a little bit of an informal video. So if you have any questions, just type them in the comment section and I will try to answer them. I don't have all the answers, but I have some answers at least. So yeah, see you later. Okay, so we are in Windows, and this is how the driver page looks like. It's basically a blog. And I put this link in the video description. So you go here and you can see the what the drivers support, what the hardware support. And also down here you see it's supporting 32 and 64-bit versions of Windows 10, 8.1, 8.7, Service Pack 1, Vista, Service Pack 2 and XP. So yeah, and everything that it includes, drivers of course, and some other software. And when you install this, when I installed it, I selected basically full installation, so it will install everything here. And yeah, some information with some fixes and stuff. And if you scroll down to the bottom here, you have the download. So it's mirrors. So I just press download and install. And after installation, you need to reboot the computer. And after that, you get a folder down here under C called Creative. And you get a bunch of stuff here. So you got Alchemy, Audio, Console, EX and stuff. And I will actually open this like this. So it's basically, let's see, Creative. Nothing special here, just remote control and stuff like that. Alchemy. But the interesting things are in this one. So Creative Audio Console looks like this. Here you see the audio card. This is the sound card. Speakers. You can set it up to whatever you want. EX, sound effects, CMSS. This is kind of a bug in Windows 10 at least. If you turn this off, it will kind of be reset when you start the computer again. It will be activated. Kind of weird thing. Decoder, if you want to have it just a pass through. If you have an external decoder for this, just restore defaults. Headphone selections, a bit accurate. And yeah, this. So that's kind of the console. What else? Then you got separate kind of things. These small windows. Of course, you can enable the effects and stuff. Karaoke. This. And in some of these, if I open this again, let's see. You get at the bottom, you got open the other settings here if you want to. But you also got them over here. And you got the equalizer as well. Looks like this. And it's disabled by default. You can just select it and enable it and do whatever you want. And I have a mixer here over here And this one is for the sort of headphone output, but this EQ doesn't really work that well. It works, but the sound is a bit different, so I actually use the built-in that comes with the drivers. This equalizer instead works better with the headphones. And what else do you have? Yes, a different audio control panel. Basically the same as the first one I showed you. Sound font speaker settings. Set it to this, depending on what you have. You have 7.1 system as well, surround sound, if you have that kind of system. Bass management, you can't actually activate this for some reason. You can do that in Windows XP at least. I don't know if you can do it in Windows 7, but yeah, it's grayed out, you can't do anything. Bass boost, this one actually works. So you can set, right now it's set to 40%, and the cutoff frequency is 50 Hz. And you can of course change this. So it's a low pass filter for the subwoofer basically. And this is for the microphone. It's basically this one. I don't really use it. So yeah, that's kind of it. And here comes the train again. And yeah, so that's kind of it for the drivers, at least on the software. And everything works here except for the some things. So yeah. So that's kind of the software, and you can play around with it and it works. And if I actually go into Device Manager, yeah, the only thing that doesn't really work, well, it kind of works, is the gain port. There are drivers for it, but you have to sort of install them manually. But I'm not really getting it to work, so it doesn't really matter gain port. But the sound and video controllers, here you see the sound card. So yeah, it works in Windows 10. So, see you later.